Almighty Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. As Muhammad, peace be upon him, narrated, if anyone travels on a road in search of knowledge, Almighty Allah will cause him to travel on one of the roads of paradise. Hello everyone, this is Dr. Tariq Masood. Thank you very much for watching my videos and your wonderful support to make this channel a grand success. We are a family, a partner. Please share and subscribe our channel if you haven't done so far. We as a team can work together to convert challenges into opportunities and opportunities into success stories. These success stories can be monetized into value addition in the world by large. Thank you very much for your precious time. Today I'm going to discuss my lecture number 6 on Center of Excellence, governing a pathway, delivering on commitment, differentiator performance, enabling profit optimization process, lecture number 6. So earlier we have concluded a 4th section of HAZOP study. Today we are going to discuss HAZOP study session number 5. Okay, before my lecture I used to read a Quranic verse. Qala Rabbi Shrahli Sadri wa Yassarli Amri Wahlul Uqdatum min Lisani Yafqahu Qawli Allahumma Rabbi Zidni Ilma. O my Lord, open my chest and ease my tasks for me, and loose a knot from my tongue that they may understand my saying. Allahumma Rabbi Zidni Ilma, O Allah, advance me in my knowledge and true understanding. Okay, Center of Excellence, lecture number 6, HAZOP study guideline, section number 5. Okay, purpose of Center of Excellence: where we are now, where we want to be, what to do, and how to do. These are our 4 concepts in order to deliver the Center of Excellence, where we are, where we want to be, what to do, and how to do. These are a narrative, sequential, a narrative to deliver as far as the Center of Excellence is concerned. Okay. Okay, Center of Excellence, governing pathway, delivering on commitment, differentiated performance, enabling profit optimization. Okay, this is a Center of Excellence framework. We have already discussed the HAZOP, brief summary about a QRA, quantitative risk assessments, risk assessment management system, and sale assessment. Okay, today we will give a brief about 5 segments, then we will discuss in detail on later stage. Okay, first we will give brief about the leadership best practices. Okay, engineering production best practices are leadership methods and simple in concept. We will discuss in my lectures on leadership best practices, metrics organizations, about a balanced leadership, layered leadership differentiates a focus but keeps line of sight. Production asset business widens view to see the whole pictures, business planning tool and budget process. We will discuss in leadership best practices or engineering of production leaderships. Okay. Lecture number 2 on Center of Excellence on later stage on segment number 2, competency assurance. In competency assurance, we will discuss what is the competency, key elements of staff competency enhancement, how to maintain personal and operational integrity, and we will also discuss ensure a personal competency development and sustainment plan. Okay. On 3rd stage, a work management system. Okay. On the work management system, okay, in work management system, we will discuss in detail, understand a best practice for work management system, fundamental of work management system, understand why and how the work management system is used to ensure the person safety and operational integrity. Okay. Number 4th segment, facilities integrity management system. Okay, we'll discuss facilities integrity management system objective and goals, alignment with business objective, facilities integrity management system risk mitigations, barriers, a framework of facilities integrity management system and its effectiveness. Okay, on next year we will also discuss alarm, official and management system. So understand what is an alarm or critical operating parameters. Understand why alarm and critical operating parameter management system is important for safety and reliability. Understand the primary objective of alarm and critical operating parameter management as far as the best practices concerned. Okay, and then we'll also discuss the global implementation of the alarm management system. Okay, next here, contract and selection management system here. Okay, understand the concept of the contractor selection of process management systems, how to implement a contractor interface prioritizations to key areas of contractor performance, contract leadership requirement. Okay, so on my next slide, we will give a brief about our today lectures, and on my next lecture, we will discuss further on remaining titles of Center of Excellence. Okay, Center of Excellence for a continuous improvement. We will start from bottom to top here. First segment here, personal safety, contractor, co-workers, and community safety must be reliable. Okay, these are my leading factors. My semi-leading environment compliance, process and asset safeties, work safely or not at all. And number 3, my semi-lagging factors, there's always a time to do right things in right way. And lastly, improvement. If it is worth doing, do it in a better way. Okay. So in order to deliver, we need a different discipline engineers, that is petroleum, chemical, electrical, instrument, mechanical, industrial, civil engineer. What they have the specialty? Loss prevention engineers, safety engineer, process, operation engineers, optimization, all discipline, maintenance engineers, corrosion engineers, integrity engineers, reliability, cost, budgeting, and project engineers. Okay, they have to deliver in order to prevent the leakage from leading factors. Okay, so if we plug the leading, so you are on the right way to deliver or to improve this system or system performance as planned or as desired. Okay, in order to deliver the result, a center of excellence for the engineering best practices is important or vital and viable. Okay, key takeaway points. Lecture number 6 has a study. Today we are going to discuss a study session, risk ranking, hazard identifications. For the message, this document has been developed for corporate HSE and quality management system to determine and provide a minimum record for the HAZOP and appropriate study, that is HAZOP. This document published for oil and gas companies, operation department, contractor and consulting utilizations. The document in its present form reflects as far as the possible current corporate requirement, taking into account the non-available industry best practices and the applicable latest national and international codes and standards. Number 3, this document is subjected to periodical review to reaffirm its adequacy or to conform to any changes in the corporate requirements or to include new development in the subject matter. Number 4, this document recognizes that there will be cases where addenda, datasheet or other clarification needed to be attached to HSE publication to suit specific application or service involvement. As such, the content of document shall not be changed or re-edited by any user or any company or its contractor, suppliers, etc. Any addenda clarification entailing major challenges shall be brought to the attention custodian department or comments review recommendation about this document forward to me t.masood.dr@bath.edu. Okay, why HAZOP study is needed? First, HAZOP is required for any changes to the process. Hazard and operability studies are a form of hazard identifications. Study identifies possible deviations. Contractor shall conduct HAZOP study in compliance with requirement in the selected accompanying operational guidelines. Contractor shall constitute a team comprises of all discipline engineers. Contractor shall design a review meeting. Contractor shall submit HAZOP package. Contractor shall prepare HAZOP report. Contractor shall close HAZOP study action points if instrumental system design in HAZOP also can be discussed. Okay. So HAZOP objective, primary aim of HAZOP study is to provide a systematic method of analyzing the cause and effects of abnormal knot operation. Okay. Okay. Scope to specify the structure, responsibility, and techniques of the hazard and operability study. Okay, HAZOP study is applicable to plant, process, and power utility systems. Okay, structure and responsibility. A team structure first here. So the all capital projects, in-house or field projects, PCR, a plant or change request, HAZOP, a training course in line with corporate standard requirement. Okay, then HAZOP, a core team shall consist of a project engineer, operation representative, a process engineer, instrument and technical safety and loss prevention engineer, that as for the core team is concerned for the HAZOP study. Okay, HAZOP a non-core team shall consist of the maintenance rep, specialist engineers, regional HSC or operational representatives. So the specialist can be process specialist, optimization specialist or reliability specialist engineer. Okay, experienced staff. This is important that several members of the team can contribute a broad experience from other similar development in terms of technology applied and locations, inevitability, the levels of experience and knowledge required for HAZOP's team should consist of a senior personnel from the project, operation, and elsewhere in the organization. Okay. So the HAZOP team, the quality of the study highly reserved from the contributions, adopt positive attitude, provide expertise by logic and focus on. Okay. So the quality of the study highly reserved from the contribution of the team members and from the global expertise. In order to achieve a quality results, member of the team should adhere to the following. That is one, adopt positive attitude. So the adopt a positive attitude toward other teams members' contributions. Second, provide their expertise on project specifics and from a similar experience elsewhere. Be logical, open-minded and creative. Focus on the objective of the HAZOP study. Okay, HAZOP chairpersons, what he has to do. All HAZOP chairperson shall have understand a certified HAZOP chairman's course, preferably ICAM UK or AECAM, American Institute of Chemical Engineers. Number two, HAZOP chairperson shall have a degree in engineering equivalent to the extensive oil and gas industry experiences, emphasizing a technical safety engineering, etc. Number three, HAZOP chairperson shall be conducted at least a 10 HAZOP study after completion of the HAZOP team leadership certifications course across the broad range of the oil and gas industry with no less than 10 years of experience in multidisciplinary project. Number four, HAZOP chairperson shall have excellent communication skill in English report writing and presentation skill, etc. And number last, HAZOP chairperson shall record a high level of technical and managerial skill. Okay. Script shall keep the record of the outcomes from the HAZOP study discussions. Be familiar with the computer software used to record the study finding before the start of the study, and follow the facilitator's instruction in record for keeping team findings and recommendations. Okay. HAZOP study shall be conducted during feed, that is programming. If there is any design changes during EPIC stage, then HAZOP shall be conducted. Issue for HAZOP P&Is and key document. So after these project design documents have undergone a design review, detailed design stage HAZOP and its recommendation shall be incorporated before freezing the design phase and the approved for design AFD document as issued. Okay. Now, from next stage, we are going to discuss HAZOP process. HAZOP process, first here, HAZOP process, first a briefing, then data collections, data presentations, facing the activities and scheduling and meetings. Okay, the first here, brief, the significant amount of preparatory work is required of both the HAZOP team and by the discipline engineer concerned prior to each session. This work typically comprises first briefing of team members, collecting the relevant data, converting the data into the suitable form, planning the sequence of study, arranging the necessary meeting. Okay. So what is HAZOP preparation should do it? I'm going to repeat the what is important as far as the HAZOP preparation is concerned. First, briefing of team members. Number two, collecting the relevant data. Number three, converting the data into a suitable form. Number four, planning the sequence of the study. And number fifth, arranging the necessary meetings. Okay. Next is the HAZOP process briefing. This is important that the member of the team are familiar with the HAZOP technique. If some of the team members are not trained or familiar, they may be given a brief with respect to the requirement of HAZOP team members by the HAZOP chairman. Okay. Next, the data collections. Project engineers require documents, consulted document, and HAZOP package. Number one, the project engineer from engineering or contractor or the relevant oil gas companies on the project being in-house or outsourced will be responsible for assembling the relevant data to meet the HAZOP study requirement. That is the first step. Individual discipline lead engineer will be responsible for supporting the data to the project engineer where necessary, advising the project engineers on available data and other issues, interest, and etc. Okay. Number two, required documents. Okay. They should collect and compile our first PFDs, P&Is of the processing utilities, plants, material specification and selection charts, cause and effect diagrams, process design basis, process operation and control philosophy. Okay, consulted documents by the HAZOP team that depend on single line diagrams, equipment specification and data sheets, vendor data and drawings, fire and gas detection drawings, hazards area classification drawings, etc. Number last, HAZOP package. The HAZOP package documents, as we have discussed in my earlier slides listed, should be issued within 10 working days in advance to allow all participation to review and prepare for the HAZOP report. Okay. Data presentation for the HAZOP process. To save the time during the study meetings, or some documents used during the review may be marked up with the additional information, for example, P&Is, annotated with the normal and design conditions, instrument set points, etc. Any marking shall be done by the relevant discipline engineers either on his own behalf or at the request of the independent chairpersons. Okay. So the phasing the activities. The independent chairpersons will plan the sequence of the study and define the nodes on each P&Is which can be examined in the logical fashions so that the result of earlier studies contributed to the subsequent studies. Okay, then scheduling and meetings. First, project engineer will be responsible for arranging the study sessions and any other relevant meetings, booking of venue and alerting a personnel to their attendance requirements shall be undertaken by the project engineer, who will also arrange for the necessary visual aids, black, white boards and flip charts, etc. and computer without facilities to be available as far as the project engineer responsibility is concerned. Then it is prerequisite that the HAZOP should maintain a continuity. Therefore, the sessions should follow on a daily basis. HAZOP sessions are intensive and more than 6 study hours per day becomes counterproductive, and accordingly scheduling of breaks are very. The HAZOP hours for a single session shall not exceed 8 hours, and more scheduled breaks shall be planned. Okay, that was my last slide. Okay, HAZOP study session. Today we are going to discuss first what is a basic requirement. So the basic requirements is that the HAZOP team question or challenge every aspects of design, determine how deviations from normal operation can lead to hazard situation for operability problems. Number two, HAZOP chairperson shall plan and control the sequencing of the study. The strategy involves a brief description of a system by the process engineer, after which the chairperson selects the first item of equipment or process path node to be examined. Okay, number three, function and intent of the equipment or system within the node is explained, and the explicit intention and purpose agreed by the team. The chairperson select a process parameter and guide words in sequence to examine all parts of the system. So as will discuss later on, generic parameters and guide words provided in Appendix 1 and 2, which we are going to discuss in my later lecture, together with the expansion of the common parameter and division in Appendix 3. Okay, so the HAZOP study shall be undertaken using a software such as PHA Works or PH Pro. Okay, that is number 3, 4, and number examinations proceeds. Examination proceeds only, and at each plant atom process parameters, guide words, deviation is resolved. A written note is made of the potential hazards or operation concerns, their causes, consequences, and safeguards. Remedial actions recommendation may be made for incorporating a more safeguards, and these actions are assigned to responsible party for resolution. Reporting can be in full or by exceptions, in which case only those items requiring actions are noted. The former is preferred. Any company, oil and gas industry, reports format. This format provides a robust demonstration of hazard identification. Even then, there are no apparent issue identified. Okay. Next is HAZOP study shall also consider all aspects of the project facility installation life cycle, from design to installation and commissioning to full operation state, including regular maintenance, turnarounds, revamps, and emergency condition and associated abnormal modes of operation. Okay, so the problem solving here during the session is discouraged. However, a simple problem may well be solved and decisions taken to modify the design. Such action shall be recorded. Okay, last one, action listed. Normally, the problem will be merely recorded and an action listed for further examination outside the main study session. Okay, from the next slide, we are going to discuss a risk ranking. Okay, first is a hazards scenario. Based on the team experience of the consequences and the likelihood, risk ranking shall be assigned to each hazard scenario. That is first segment. Okay, second. The objective of the risk ranking estimation is to determine the likelihood and consequences of individual hazards and the overall aggregation of HSE risk for the project facility installation. Risk ranking estimation quantitatively determines the risk of the individual hazards and related HSE consequences. It provides the basis for assessing a risk against a risk acceptability criteria, the need for additional risk reduction. The selection between alternative options on health, safety, or environment grounds and ultimate acceptability of the risk. Now, number three, risk estimation. Risk estimation will be undertaken by a qualitative assessment of determining consequences of the hazards, magnitude and severity in conjunction with the respective frequency likelihood. Okay. Next is the consequences of the realization. The consequence of realization of a hazard shall be determined for the potentially worst credible consequences which shall be identified for people, environment, assets and reputation. That is PEAR. P for people, E for environment, A for assets and R for reputations. Okay. The last is likelihood of the hazards. Probability. The likelihood of the hazards exposed to people, environment and assets affected should be identified by considering minimum or two. All risk reduction control to reduce likelihood and consequences, number one. Number two, any legislative or recommendations exposures levels required. Okay, so from next we will discuss identifying and assessing a major accident hazard, that is called MAH. Okay, identifying and assessing major accident hazard, MAH. What basically? Unless all possibles are identified, identification of MAH must assume control MAHs. First, unless all possible MAH are identified, then casual and contributory hazards may be overlooked and risk will not be accurately assessed. Likewise, control cannot be identified and assessed. Okay. Number two, identification of MAH must assume control measures are absent, unavailable, not functional. These should follow the principle that what could happen if control measures were not applied and maintained accurately. Okay, then we're going to discuss MH can be identified in three different areas. Okay, MH can be identified in three different areas. MH, major accident hazards. First, a process MH. Second, MH arising from concurrent activities and non-process MH. First, process MH. These are MS, major accident caused by hazard which are associated with upsets in process or failure of equipment in the process stream. Okay, number two. That is first. Second. Okay. Second. MEH arise from the concurrent activities, typical concurrent operations which must be considered. Number one, major shutdown or startup. Number one. Number two, others activity on site. Number three, activities adjacent to the facility. Okay. Number three, non-process. MH created by non-process hazards that could cause a release of dangerous substances. Non-process hazards may typically include the following: aircraft crashings, dropped object, extreme environment conditions, earthquake, high winds, lightning, non-process fires, vehicle and road transport, power failure are leading to a plant upset. That is non-process MH. Okay, so what they have a further a trail. Number one, all MAH shall be defined in terms of initial energy release event and it can be characterized as loss of containment of a dangerous substance or material. Okay. Number two, HAZOP study conducting the identification of MH shall review the ongoing HAZOP to identifying initiating events for each MH. Okay. Okay. Last is the consequences. During the identification and assessment process, screening shall be conducted to identify these incidents that pose a serious danger or harm to personal and environment. So as we have discussed we are going to discuss later on the RAM. These screen shall only be basis of consequence, not likelihood. Consequences modeling might be used as justification for screening decisions. Okay. Okay, these are HAZOP related documents. We may consider further study or HSE governing framework, major accident hazard management framework, philosophy of HSE risk management, guidance for the registering hazard effects, management of health, safety and capital project, government hazard identification study, etc. Okay, what we have discussed today has study sessions, risk identifications. Okay, from next topic we are going to discuss deliverables. Okay. For reference, Qatar Petroleum, Oil and Gas Development Corporation, Work Energy, World Energy, US Geological Survey, US Department of Energy, Shalom Belzer, International Energy, Wikipedia, Oklahoma State, State Oil, No.6 Study of Oil in Pennsylvania, A Liquid Gas Encyclopedia, Natural Gas from the Wellhead to Burner Tip. Okay. Together, everyone achieve more. Please do not hesitate to send me your feedback, comments at t.masood.dr@path.edu. Thank you very much and stay blessed.